Logging in has slowed down substantially, so we should start our program.
Welcome, everybody. My name's Dean Felsher, and on behalf of the Masters in Science and Translational Research and Applied Medicine graduate program, I'm really glad to welcome you to our webinar. Today, we'll talk to you about this exciting new graduate program that will be in its second year. It's a Masters of Science. The program provides a formalized didactic training program in many aspects of translational research and applied medicine. It includes leaders from Stanford University in translational research and leaders from industry to provide unique experience, perspectives in aspects of many different aspects of the development of therapeutics and other aspects of translational research. Next slide, please. The program has received really outstanding support from many leaders at Stanford University, including directors of many of our institutes, as well as chairs of many of our departments. There's a lot of interaction in this program and opportunities to interact with the leaders of these different programs that are our speakers in our different courses and participate in many different aspects of our program. Last year, our graduation had several deans who participated, including the Dean of the School of Medicine and the Senior Dean of Research. And I think that level of excitement provides a really wonderful opportunity for students to feel that they are engaged at the highest levels of the value of Stanford University. Next slide, please. The program has an outstanding group of advisors. These colleagues have decades of collective experience in therapeutic development in many different aspects of translational science, from therapeutic development to regulation to serving as CEOs to experts in patent law. And they come and they participate in the program directly, as well as provide mentorship for our students, providing a really unique opportunity for a combination of didactics with also practical training in various aspects of translational science. Next slide. Now, the program encourages applications from many different kinds of individuals from many different backgrounds. We're very keen on the program having a strength because of the students bringing different expertise, interests, levels of background, but it would include physicians and medical students, as well as biotechnology and biopharma professionals, people already with significant experience as medical, business, or legal professionals, recent college graduates who have a decided interest and expressed interest, demonstrated interest in translational science, PhD and MBA graduates, as well as academic research professionals in many different capacities. Next slide, please. On a high level, our curriculum includes 48 units of didactics. They're courses in technology, science, and business courses. They span over 4 quarters. There's also flexible structured coursework that allows students to be able to work part-time during the program's duration, if that's necessary. And a very exciting and innovative aspect of our program is that there are experiential experiences. Students in the program that are not already trained clinicians have the opportunity for clinical rotations. There are also opportunities for individuals to do research rotations with biotechnology companies, as well as elite Stanford academic research laboratories that have a decided focus in translational science. In particular, students are offered the opportunity to do a summer industry internship experience to gain hands-on experience in many of the aspects they learn through our didactic program in the development of drugs. And there's a faculty mentored capstone research experience, which highlights the program, and the students at the end of the year are able to present the research to each other as part of our graduation and symposium. Importantly, these faculty mentored capstone research experiences are mentored by the directors of the program, but they also involve the ability to work with other professors at Stanford in academia, as well as projects in industry. Next slide. So this shows the leadership of the program, and there's really a depth and range, but we're all very passionately, equally interested in the program. I've introduced myself, Dean Felsher, but the executive director of the program is Joanna Lilienthal, who has over 2 decades of experience in education and training of individuals in doing projects in translational science. We also have 2 amazing additional directors of the program, Gary Shaw, who's world-class epidemiologist, also with significant experience in education and mentorship, and George Tidmarsh, who, like me, is an MD, PhD, trained at Stanford University, but has also over 2 decades of experience in successfully developing therapeutics, many of which are now actual products in clinical use. We've recruited a program manager, Laura Remillard, who provides individual attention for each student, and Jennifer Carver, who's our curriculum developer, and she's played an amazing role in facilitating development of a really exciting and innovative didactic curriculum, and has worked in close partnership with the directors, in particular, Dr. Tidmarsh, in developing what we think will be a truly exciting, invigorating, and memorable curriculum. Next slide.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Joanna Lilienthal. I'm the executive director of M-TRAM. And what I want to tell you today is that M-TRAM is truly a very unique program. It crosses disciplines and includes focus on drug development, clinical trials, emerging technologies, and really trains the next generation of professionals who are capable of translating the new medical innovations into practical solutions that improve and save lives. So the program is really ideal for all of you who are passionate about biomedical sciences and would like to build a strong foundation for a career in biotech, pharmaceutical industry, academic research, or pursue further medical education. Our program combines a unique curriculum composed of both didactic and project-based or skills-based experiential learning. So students undergo advanced training in translational concepts in the classroom, as well as hands-on learning in the lab. Our immersive research capstone experience that I'm going to talk to you about in a second in more detail allows students to use either Stanford or biotech pharma industry resources to dive deep into the research projects and help develop novel therapeutic, diagnostic, or other health preventive strategies. This is a busy slide, but I just want to show you our curriculum. Most students are able to complete it in 1 academic year from autumn through the summer quarter. And what I want to focus on is that there are 3 main components of the curriculum. There are core courses, a hands-on capstone research project, and a clinical rotation experience that all enhance student learning. We have several required courses, and of course, students are also able to enroll in elective courses at Stanford. The required courses make you learn in depth about drug development, clinical trials, commercialization from top leaders in industry, as Dean mentioned before. But you'll also hear lectures from distinguished Stanford faculty who are experts in translational medicine. And moreover, you will also engage in experiential learning where you will be learning to set up, run, and analyze your own data and pursue your own research projects. And you can click on the link that's included here for more detailed information about each one of those courses. So the centerpiece of M-TRAM studies is a year-long capstone project, which we call TRIP, for Translational Research Individual Project. And this is where students join real-world teams at Stanford or industry to take medical innovations from an idea to the clinic. So these capstone projects can take several forms, but are always individualized to the students' research interests and goals, and can be done at either Stanford with a Stanford Faculty Advisors Lab or an industry. So M-TRAM is a capstone master's, not a traditional master's thesis program. What that means is that in a capstone program, the focus is on gaining practical skills and knowledge while utilizing discovery research to frame it within a specific clinical and therapeutic context. So what are the deliverables? You'll need to present a poster at the end of M-TRAM, but also at the end of each quarter, each student needs to present an update, which is a therapeutic development plan as part of their capstone project update. As part of our curriculum, our students also have an opportunity to engage in a 1 quarter long clinical rotation that can actually be extended to include more quarters. And this is where students get to observe and shadow clinical practice and procedures and gain practical exposure to specific clinical research skills and understanding of patient care. And, you know, that not only gives the students skills, but also enhances ethical standards and empathy. And we have set up clinical rotations in many different diverse clinical areas, from anything from oncology to cardio, you name it. If it's not on the list, we will try our best to set it up for you. So this is just merely to show you that, yes, M-TRAM is a full-time 1-year program with in-person and some online courses during the day. However, the program is designed to be flexible to allow you to learn without compromising your existing clinical or research or work obligations. As you can see, there's lots of free areas within the schedule to allow you to do so. So what may be some of the future directions, future positions, and career paths for our graduates? M-TRAM is really designed to develop the careers of all individuals who plan to have a leadership role in the development and management of programs that lead to therapeutics, diagnostics, or medical devices. And of course, the specific outcome will depend upon the prior training of the individual and their goals. But we expect M-TRAM graduates to go directly to positions in industry, academia, government, or the clinic, hospital. So if you're a physician, you know, we may envision that if you're a physician, you may become a leader in investigator-initiated studies in industry or academia. If you're a college graduate, you may take on leadership roles in industry in developing therapies or diagnostics. And if you're a business or law student or other professional, you know, you may become a business or legal leader in academia, industry. And there's many other suitable positions for which M-TRAM will make you more competitive. So a little bit of practical information here. As you know, you need to apply by the end of January. We have an online application form that is required. You have to apply directly to that portal, which the link for which is listed here. And that contains questions about your personal and educational background. And there's some additional requirements, such as for international students, we require the TOEFL English proficiency test. And what happens after you apply? We received many emails from prospective applicants. This is really the timeline. We receive the applications, and then sometime around mid-April, we respond to the offer of admission. So that's when sometime in the spring, you should hear from us. First day of classes for the new year will start on September 23rd. And before then, actually summer is a very active time for the prospective applicant and the program, because we meet with you one-on-one for orientation meetings. And we try to arrange capstone projects, mentor technical rotations and clinical rotations. And we try to learn about you to fit your needs better into the program. This is something that this is not my favorite topic to discuss, but I do need to include this. As you know, Stanford, being a private university, has a hefty tuition. We want you to know before applying to the program that this is a self-paid master's program. And I would encourage everybody who is applying to really have a plan for how you're going to pay for those studies. There are plenty of scholarships and other funding opportunities available. If you go on our M-TRAM website, you'll see a list of different scholarships that we list, and you can also go to financial aid website, and I'd encourage you to contact them as soon as possible. And they offer many different ways to pay for the studies at Stanford. I just wanted to share with you, last but not least, the testimonials of many of our current students who are all excited about the program. If you are interested to apply, M-TRAM will extend your knowledge and connections and will provide you with the essential tools to build an exciting career in the rapidly growing field of translational medicine. And I want to leave this slide as we go into our questions and answers. These are all the directors and program manager. You can contact us using the general email that many of you have already used, mtramstudies@stanford.edu. But if you have a specific question for any of the directors, Dean, George, Gary, or myself, or our program manager, Laura, we have listed our emails. This webinar recording will be posted on our website in a day or two, so you'll be able to preview this information. So I'm going to formally end the presentation and want to use the rest of the time for all of your questions, and we hope to answer those.
Oh my gosh.
So our program manager, Laura, will, I know that there are already quite a few questions in the Q&A. Laura will start reading the questions and we will start answering those.
I see that one is in process of being answered, but the next question is, what is the admission statistic for undergraduate students? Are undergraduate students less competitive during admission compared to PhD and MD students? And that would be for one of our program directors.
Yeah, we generally, like most programs, don't provide the confidential information about the number of applications and that sort of information. It's usually not something that, what we can say is that the programs, generally like other Stanford programs, is already very competitive, as you'd expect. simply because there's a large amount of interest.
Thank you. Somebody else wrote, what makes an application stand out?
Joanna.
There are many different things that will make your application stand out. From my point of view, really the motivation, a very clear idea why you want to do this. I mean, we will know from your resume, everybody who is applying to Stanford is brilliant, and everybody has, you know, a rich background in either biomedical science or what have you that is a good fit for M-TRAM. But what we really want to hear from you is why you applied, what is your career path, and how will M-TRAM align with your career path?
And then someone else asks if there are any prerequisites for the application. And yes, it is a full-time program. This person's currently working in the biotech industry and wants to know if they can do the program and also keep their full-time job.
So I always tell people that if you're really motivated to towards your career goal, you can accomplish both working as well as going to school. Of course, it's not very easy. It's a challenging task, but our program curriculum allows the flexibility. There are free days, so to speak, and free afternoons or free mornings where if you have previously arranged with your work with your manager that they allow you flexibility to go to school, yes, that can work. And we have some students who have actually done this, and we have some students in the audience who can attest to this. So I guess my short answer is it can be done, but it is, of course, challenging. We do want you to focus 100% on the schoolwork. It is an intensive program, but yes, we do have the flexibility for you to do so. And I don't know if from any of the students, I think, Go, you had some experience both working and going to doing the program at the same time. Maybe you can say a couple words to this end.
I actually was, I think, one of the only ones that was not working at the same time, but it was definitely possible. And I think some people, a part of my cohort, were working in the labs that they were doing their capstone project in. So it actually worked out really well in that case. So I think it is possible to work part-time. And, you know, if you get a job in a lab, then also working on your capstone project, it kind of fits well together.
Thank you. Someone else is asking about GPAs, if they're a major consideration. And
we of course do a holistic review of your application. There is no specific GPA. Most students have academically performed well. Overwhelmingly, the main criteria is what Joanna described: a very good description and a demonstration based on your record of why you would be a good fit for the program. So clearly, really look at our materials and look at what we say the program's about and provide a compelling reason why you would be a good fit for the program. And there are many different ways in which that you could be a good fit. You have many different ways, but it's not simply based on your previous academic performance.
Thank you. So many people are asking about the capstone projects and excuse me, the lab rotations, and wondering would they be involved in are there specific labs afflicted with the M-TRAM program, for example?
Great question. So let me take this, let me try to answer this. So as I mentioned in my presentation, in the summer prior to you joining M-TRAM, we hold a lengthy orientation, which is basically an hour-long meeting with me to really find out what your interests are, what your goals are for the program. And we do a little bit of matchmaking. We try and see how to fit your goals and your interests into the goals and interests of our faculty at Stanford. And we do have a list of our current capstones and their mentors. If you go on our website, you can see a lengthy list of the faculty involved. But the list is growing with each year. So if you come to our program and say that you're interested in X, Y, and Z, and that faculty is not listed currently on our website, you can certainly pursue that, and we will try our best to enable this. There's two ways really to do that. You can either personally write to the faculty where you're interested in pursuing capstone in their lab, or you can wait for the orientation and you can let us arrange it for you. But yes, but at the same time, also, please do look at the list of the current projects and the past projects, because if a faculty is already listed, it will be very easy to find a capstone for you in that lab.
The point is the program's been very well accepted at Stanford as an exciting program. And many, if not most faculty, have been delighted to serve as mentors for individuals. And I think if you ask our current students, we had faculty in mind to participate, but students who had an interest in a particular faculty, most of the faculty we know, and most faculty will be willing to accommodate students. In some cases, really quite complete way, faculty have been willing to support students and then are very engaged in helping the student further their career. And in some cases, students will recruit a faculty and we'll ask them to come speak at the program and participate in the program. So you should realize this program's really integrated with Stanford, and it was definitely a case of where we didn't develop the program in a vacuum. Many faculty, many leaders were very aware that we were developing this program and very encouraging and supportive of it.
Perhaps an experiential anecdote from one of the students would be really helpful to sort of drive home what both of you and Joanna and Dean have said. Ananya, do you want to take a shot at it and sort of express how your experience started and how it's going now?
Absolutely. So I kind of had a early sense of the general area I wanted to work in, which was women's health. And so in my application, in my early orientation forms, I listed a few faculty that I might want to work with. And then the program directors did some of their magic during the summer. I had more conversations and they found, so that might be a good fit for me. I went on, had some conversations. The nice thing was we have some time over the first quarter to actually refine what this project is going to be, who we're going to work with. I actually ended up taking a class on women in health. I had more conversations with Joanna, and eventually we landed up with a professor who I am not only doing my capstone research with, but also doing my clinical rotation with. And it's been like a really, really great, already a very great mentorship relationship. He has been really, responsive. He's been very willing to work with what my interests are. He's tried to work in what my undergraduate research was as well. And so I think it's really good to be upfront about what your interests are, but also recognize that in the first quarter, you'll be exposed to so many things here, and the conversations will really just kind of help you narrow down what that specific interest is. So it's very exciting in the summer to want to figure it all out, but there's a lot of value in just letting some of these experiences help you decide.
Thank you. So it has been noted that business courses have been integrated in this program. So can we talk about how that's structured?
Dean, do you want to answer this, or do you want me to discuss it?
I was just answering one of the other people's questions.
Okay,
So,
I can start. I can take a crack at it, and then maybe other people can also jump in and answer this question. So business courses, we don't have a formal business course as part of the required curriculum. However, the courses that we do have lectures and seminars from folks in industry who are leaders in translational medicine, and they talked in detail about commercialization, about marketing of drugs, and many different business aspects of drug development. We also have a course in biotechnology law, so this is not business, but law that pertains to biotechnology and pharmaceuticals, including intellectual property and commercialization. And also, by being at Stanford, if you are a Stanford student, you have the opportunity to enroll in any possible course, of course, a course that doesn't conflict with the current required curriculum. And I know Yanan, maybe you can mention, Yanan is one of our current students, and she has really made incredible connections with the Graduate School of Business, and she's really have been given the opportunity to explore that. So maybe Yanan, you could mention a little bit of that collaboration between business and M-TRAM.
Yeah, sure, Joanna. Hello, everyone. So with M-TRAM program, I think it has a very great focus on the whole translational pathway from the beginning of proof of concept RUO to preclinical to clinical stage, then to licensing commercialization. And the medical, of course, this grad programs for medical school, it has a focus on that, more of the translational research side, but it does not limit you to take courses from other schools, including, if you want to take computer sciences course, or school courses from the Graduate School of Business. So for example, for me, the first semester, I was able to take Finance 385, which is the course VC and angel investing for entrepreneurs. And you are also able to get exposure to some of the program that have application-based work at GSB just by being a grad student at Stanford. For example, next quarter, I'm also taking the Startup Garage at GSB that will able basically to help you to, if you already have a proof of concept research idea, to apply what M-TRAM have taught you, with all the tools you have, and to go into a setting more like an accelerator and, test and launch your product. So that's something that is readily available for students, and you will just have to apply to the courses when you're a student here. But being a grad student at Stanford and at the medical school really offer you the opportunity to take courses really at any other schools on campus. Some of the courses require you to reach out to the professor ahead of time and just get approval, but there is no limit on what courses you can take outside the medical school. So definitely opportunity there.
Thank you for that. Would you recommend or advise this program for an MD who plans to become a physician? Where did my question go? Just before applying for medical residency.
Absolutely. And I think Dean can answer this question even better because he himself is an MD. I'm just going to say my 2 cents worth that you can see that we already have a few MDs who have graduated from our program. And we actually strive to get more physicians interested in M-TRAM. And I could envision them being involved in investigator initiated trials and yeah, so maybe Dean, you can expand on this, but I think absolutely yes.
So when we designed the program, all of us had in mind that it would be a program that would be part of the trajectory of physicians, but it's very important that it is not the only intention, because some of the questions I see is this a program for people applying to medical school or MSTP? Yes, it can be. Is that the intention of the program? No, this is not a program that's intention is simply to provide pre-training before going to medical school or clinical training. The intention of the program is to build out people who really will be capable of doing translational science, but providing a formalized training in many aspects, both practical and didactic, that we directors know you do not receive in a traditional graduate or medical school training or in clinical training as a resident or intern. George, Gary, Joanna, Jennifer, Laura, and I had talked at length about, well, what was missing from our education and things. Also realized that we intentionally want people with many different passions and interests about in terms of their career, the types of research they're interested in, because you can tell from the 4 students who are here, 1 a graduate and 3 current students, they have broad interests. They come from different directions. They have different personal backgrounds, because we want the class to provide a horizontal level of training and interaction. It is a very integral part of the program. So we're not evading your answers by telling you this is what we want, because there's not one thing we want. We want a fantastic group of individuals who generally can explain to us why they're a great candidate for this trajectory to be a translational scientist. And there are many possible outcomes, but an outcome should involve you truly are passionate about translational science. And read our site and look at our materials, answer the questions. That's the best way to approach your application.
And thank you. Someone is also asking about cell therapy and asking if this program would help in furthering that career.
So my short answer is yes. And actually, many of our current students are pursuing that route. We have many capstone projects. If you go on our website, you can read in more detail. People who are very interested in immunotherapy and cell therapy. We have many luminaries, leaders in cell therapy here at Stanford, such as Crystal McCall and others. We do have seminars and classes that give you more skills in understanding about cell therapy. But as Dean said, it would not be the only, we're a very holistic program, very diverse in what we teach. So yes, this is one area of knowledge that you will be getting in depth, but not the only one.
Thank you. Let's see here. Regarding the application, there is an enriching the community statement to discuss experiences. Is this meant to be somewhat like a narrative personal statement?
It is a narrative personal statement, but it's a very different narrative personal statement compared to college application, where people tend to write about their whole life and why they want to, or medical school application, why they, it's more general. Whereas for M-TRAM, we specifically want you to answer the question, why you want to be part of this program. why translational medicine? What do you want to do in your further career? And how does translational medicine align with your future career and professional goals? This is the main question we want you to focus on. And of course, you can write more things in your personal statement that you want to share with us. But most importantly, do focus on why you want to do this.
And someone's asking about how big is the cohort each year, and applications. I think we touched on that a little, but
yes, our cohort is 12 students, give or take 1 or 2 each year, but this we had many conversations about how many students we should have, and we want to have a small enough class that there is basically this intimate community where people are get to know each other, but we want to have a large enough class that there is horizontal learning. So we arrived at the number of 12 sort of arbitrarily, but since our cohort right now is 12 and it works perfectly, I think we'll be close to 12 each year.
And then perhaps Go can answer this, but someone's asking for the graduates of M-TRAM, what specific opportunities has M-TRAM opened up for you?
I had the opportunity to meet with some industry leaders. So I met with the chief medical officer for Horizon Therapeutics, among other people. But that opportunity, I spoke with them and met their team, and was invited to come to Washington, D.C. to participate in Rare Disease Week. So I got to meet their government affairs team and learn about that division and how that plays a role in translational research in the company. And then, I got to meet FDA people that work at the FDA and the NIH and patient advocacy groups. So there's a lot of potential to meet very, very interesting people that can help you along in your career. And I think that's one of the really strong suits of this program.
Thank you. Someone's asking about the interview process and how many interviews are there, and how long is it?
There's one formal interview. The interview is very short. It's a 15-minute interview. Sometimes we do need to set up a specific second interview, but that's very rare. So short answer is one interview.
Thank you. And how bad will lack of strong research, lab experience, and publication affect our application as an international student?
I think whether you are an international student or a domestic student, for this question, it really doesn't matter. We look holistically at your experience. We do have many international students right now as current students. I think if you completely lack any research experience, we want you to have some background in science, maybe from college, maybe a course in biology, chemistry, so that you know the fundamental, you have a fundamental understanding of medicine, of biology, and the concepts. If you don't have any of this background, it will be challenging. But of course, the lack of direct classes in that regard may be substituted by your professional experience and your working in a company or working in a venture capital or marketing or what have you, that where you really get on the job experience and get the fundamentals, not as a class, but in a work setting. And I don't know if any of you, I know Ananya, for instance, you come from a non-science background. Maybe you can say a couple words to this end.
So I had my I had biology as an undergrad for my major, and I had some research experience there. And then I worked as a consultant for 4 years. So I was around the space, but maybe not very deeply involved in the science. And I think that the undergrad biology background was really helpful in, understanding and being able to apply the basic concepts that we learn in class. But I think the work experience then helped me layer on a more general understanding of the industry. But I think that the undergrad experience was extremely valuable to the program.
Let's see here. Someone's interested in drug development, and what options are there in the program to build a career around that?
So our entire program is focused about drug development. And George Tidmarsh, who is the co-director of our program, has brought in leaders from industry who are CEOs and other experts in drug development space. And those individuals directly work with our students, they mentor our students, they teach the courses that are required by our curriculum. And so if you're interested in drug development, you've found the right program, because this is basically the cornerstone of our program is drug development, but we teach many other aspects of translational medicine. So if you're, of course, we have not only drug development, but also diagnostics and other cell therapy, immunotherapy. But drug development is the favorite, the focus that Professor George Tidmarsh has, created this whole aspect of the program, which is very strong in drug development.
I just want to comment, there have been quite a number of questions regarding financial assistance for domestic and international. So on our website, we do have a list of scholarships that are available, but my recommendation would be to look at that list and see which one you would be interested in, because the deadlines could be right now. I mean, so you want to take a look at that as soon as possible. The program itself does not offer scholarships. It's a student-funded program. So I would take a look at any opportunity for scholarships on our website. Check that out.
Now, I just want to add to this, once you are at Stanford, but that will only happen after you admitted and after you're already in the program, there may be very competitive possibilities for you to get an RA-ship or a TA-ship. These are, as I said, very competitive, and it will not be offered to everybody, but it is possible at Stanford to get an RA-ship and a TA-ship, and some of our students have taken this as their opportunity.
Thank you. Let's see here. We are down to the last few questions. Let's see. So are the programs in the TRAM series, as introduced already in the presentation today, connected to the medicine practical, that is for clinical practice?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. Is it TRAM series, Med to 21, or?
It said TRAM series, and unfortunately, let me see here if I can grab that question again. Just one second. I lost it. So if that person who wrote that question can resubmit it, that would be great.
Yes, move on to the next question.
Examples of companies students get paired with for industry internship, and is there a list online?
There is a list on our website with companies that are already collaborating with M-TRAM. And so feel free to look at more details on our website. We do have all of the directors of the program have collaborations and partnerships with companies that have offered summer internships to our students. Of course, just like for a capstone project, it is very, we take a holistic approach and we want to understand what your interests are. And we don't just assign, okay, person A will get a company ABC. We do want to know what you want to do in a company, what kind of experience you require. So some of these things can take a while. I also do want to question, and I'll let Gary say a few more words about that. We do have at Stanford this really amazing D3 program, which sets up collaborations and partnerships for summer internship experiences. Right now it's set up for mostly people who have clinical experience, who are physicians, but I understand that D3 is growing. So maybe Gary, you can say a few words regarding D3.
Happy to. And just to expand on what you said, Joanna, each of us in our director roles are committed to finding more industry partners that will both benefit our students from being engaged in this program, and we continue to grow the list. But the D3 program, which, as Joanna just pointed out, is geared toward medical fellows and medical residents. We've identified a number of companies to create an immersion program of 1 month that we actually embed the resident or fellow in the company for a month as an approved clinical rotation. We are starting to capitalize on a number of those connections that in industry that could be also employed for M-TRAM students. So we are working, because we're all involved in this, including Professor Tidmarsh. We have a lot of cross connections, which we hope will work out even better as time goes on.
Great. Thank you, Gary. So we have gone through all of our questions. Oh, we just got something. Let's see here. I saw on the website the capstone project requires 10 hours a week. It looks like Dean's answering that. Thank you. Do we take the undergraduate institution into consideration? Dean already answered that. So I think we
have one raised hand from Azizul Haq. So
I don't see the person anymore. Are there? What will be the career path for? Lots of career paths, right? If you look on our website, we talk about, we see many different possibilities for career trajectories for people in the program, and the students can perhaps tell you what they're interested in. I mean, we have 4 students. I think each of you has a different interest. Should we give you guys a chance to tell?
Yeah, why don't we have the students? So we have Yanan, Ananya, Chloe, and Go. Maybe you can briefly describe your future career paths and why you're doing M-TRAM.
I'll go first. Yeah, thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Dean. So for me, I have a background. In biomedical science, and I had about 5.5 years of work experiences coming from the industry, working with translational researchers in Boston. So before the M-TRAM program have officially existed, I was already looking for a program that will formalize the education for teaching scientists and also founders who want to found a company that process bringing a basic research through proof of concept, through preclinical, clinical stage, regulatory, to market, then post-market marketing as well. So that whole process, if you having an exposure to industry, it was not existent, this education before in I was saying probably globally. So the concept of M-TRAM is revolutionary and very new. And personally, I can speak to that because I was working in Kendall Square in Boston, which is where Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech, all of those, at the company at the frontier of innovation exist. And at that level, I will still talk to really big founder receiving like millions, tens of millions of money in their Series A, saying that they don't understand the process of translational research because there's no way to gain that level of education. And that's, I think, where Stanford M-TRAM comes in. Sorry, I went on a tangent, but that's, when I sort of exit industry and come to this program. And as part of the program, my career goal is to become an independent biotech founder. And I have been doing that, I would say, in parallel to my medical school, grad school education here at M-TRAM. I already have a foundational science proof of concept, and I'm now right now with a team of 4 building my company here at Stanford. And of course, for me, when I exit the program, I will probably be in more of a biotech founder entrepreneurship role. And I think M-TRAM is very pivotal in providing not only the hands-on technical trainings, but also the necessary didactic portion of how that translational research applied medicine work. And on top of that, that's the connection you make and the wealth experiences each of your professor bring in is very valuable. They are the leader, the #1 in the industry in this specific area of expertise, and they all bring very valuable information and also network to help students for a career after M-TRAM, whether you wanted to be a student founder, you want to go back to the industry, or you wanted just to stay in academic. That faculty is very crucial. Yeah. So
thank you so much, Yanan. Let's move on because we are sort of out of time, but let's take a couple more minutes. So Ananya, could you say just a few words about your career trajectory?
Yeah, I came from a background where I really enjoyed studying science. I enjoyed learning about science, and then I had exposure to how does drug development happen and business as well. And I found myself somewhere in between those things, and I felt like this was a group of people, mentors for life, who understood that unique position that I was in. And this program is distinctly helping me understand what are the potential career paths I could take that satisfied both of those sides of my curiosity and my interests. And so for me, I'm really hoping that this will, the program will help me within my specific, healthcare or like research interests in women's health, help me narrow down what is that perfect job, or how can I use my skill sets to solve the problems that I feel passionate about, essentially.
Thank you, Ananya. Chloe.
Yeah, most of my experience had been working in academic research before this, but I knew my overall goal in whatever career I picked is to make healthcare and medicines more accessible. And a big part of that is learning the drug development pipeline, which I think M-TRAM really provides. And even though I don't know exactly what type of role I will be in after this, the connections that you make at Stanford and at this program have been incredibly helpful.
Thank you, Chloe. And Go.
So I came into the program with an interest in pursuing the MD PhD afterwards in neuroscience and translational neurosciences. And my interest in the master's program was to kind of understand all of the components of actually bringing your science and research into the clinic in ways that you might not necessarily learn in a hard science PhD or in medical school, such as understanding how to perform a market analysis on whether or not your drug that you're developing is there's a availability in the market, how feasible it is to actually produce the drug and carry out a clinical trial. So all of those things have been extremely helpful after completing the program. I think in my understanding of how to carry out translational research in my future as a physician scientist.
Thank you. So we went over time, apologies, but very lively discussion. Dean, we would like to close the webinar. You have a few closing remarks before we end. And
Sure.
me,
Thank you,
so much
everybody.
for attending.
Thank you, everybody. We really, really are excited that so many of you are interested in this program. Sorry if we didn't answer all of your questions, which I tried very hard, and many of you know I was vigorously responding to all of your amazing questions. I particularly want to thank Joanna and Laura for organizing this webinar, and to thank in particular our 4 students, our graduate Go, Ananya, Chloe, and Yanan, who are fantastic students. We really hope that you found this informative, and please continue to ask us questions. This program has been extremely well received.